Good day to be in the basement playing with trains. All right, welcome back to the HO scale, Bessemer and Lake Erie. I'm Ray Brown. Welcome back to the basement. Going to be a long one today, so hope you're comfortable. Weather is pretty nasty out here. Going to show some trains, run up and down the Helix, talk about how this is going to work as we're getting into the second deck. And maybe at the end I'll throw in video how I cut out all my arced pieces here for the Helix. Let's go ahead and get some trains running. So the second deck going this way, this will be the Porter cutoff. So kind of get a sense there. I want to do this this big fill along the wall here with the US 62 underpass, and down at this end I'll probably throw in the short trestle. You see that from Interstate 79, and probably do a crossover here too to represent KY. But this would be south going towards Grove City, and this ore train here would be going north towards Shenango. So let's dial that one up. All right, here we go. We'll get it rolling here. All right, so changed my mind a lot about how I was going to build this Helix. My original plan was to do threaded rod, and that just didn't work for me. I really thought it would. Couldn't see why it wouldn't. And as I tried to do it, I was getting too much wave between the threaded rods. So I decided just to go with the wood blocks, and I just set up a stop on my chop saw and cut 120 of those, I think. And threw my calipers on them. I was holding them plus or minus 10. It's 10,000ths of an inch for my non-American friends. But Helix is about a, I don't know, a little over 1.25%, about 1.3% on the outside track, and it's almost 2% on the inside track. And that's just because you're going up 4 inches in 360 degrees, no matter what track you're on, but you got more circumference to do it on the outside track. Inside radius is 30 inches, and about 2.5-inch track spacing. So kind of what's neat on the Helix here is the two tracks coming from Grove City are wrapping on the outside. So, you know, we're looking at the outside tracks here, and of course I'm setting up for right-hand running. So this train is northbound, which would be the wrong way for a loaded ore train. And part of the design of the Helix, and really the whole design of the layout, came down to this Helix. North is always to your right, no matter what deck you're on. South is always to your left. So should be pretty easy to follow. And yeah, it's a little dark back here. I'm going to do behind the valance lighting, and I think I'm going to actually light inside the Helix some. I want to dress this up, cover these spacers, so you don't see how they're kind of offset. I did all the math that all the how do I want to say it? All the spacing should have lined up nice and vertical. But the thing I didn't allow for was the wood expanding when I cut it with the water jet. and it definitely did expand quite a bit. So this train has now come down what would be Shenango Hill on this track. The Helix kind of has a different story depending what track you're coming in and out on, but this would be coming down Shenango Hill, and we would be crossing the Erie double track main line right here at XN. Here's my picture of XN, and we'd be rolling into Shenango. And that'll be yard tracks coming off for Shenango Yard there. And heading for Bridge 38. And on to Greenville. The ore train here, this is all Athearn ore jennies, and it has the plastic not KD couplers, and I'll trade them out someday. But so far I haven't had much problem with them. I can't say I haven't had any problem with them. I definitely have had some, but not terrible. And I will trade all those out eventually. All right, so let's look at another train. So the upper deck, sorry I'm spinning around so much here. The upper deck will be Butler on this wall, and it'll be the Pullman Standard Factory down at that end, Armco Steel at this end. And rolling around the corner here, I think this will be probably Standard Junction, and I'm going to do it's a point on the railroad called Red Hot, the Red Hot Coal Company. So this would be at Butler. We would be heading south and heading towards the Allegheny Industrial District. So let's follow this passenger train down. Oops. And of course, right off the bat, I've got a problem. All right, here we go. So this will be rolling through Red Hot, and you can see I put subroad bed on the front part of the Helix here, and that's because I intend to scenic this top bit of Helix. This will be dropping into a deep cut, and right there where the roadbed ends and I go on to straight on the plywood, I'll probably do a tunnel portal there. And this will be Calmerville, which is a point on the railroad that is a deep cut, and there used to be a tunnel there until it was daylighted. So I'll step back a little here. What else can I tell you about the Helix while we're watching trains go in circle? I used Atlas Code 100 for the Helix, and I did that for a couple of reasons. It's a little beefier, a little sturdier, deals with all the imperfections of the wood a little bit better than Code 83 would. It's a little cheaper. It doesn't look as good, but I don't care what it looks like. Can't really see it anyway. And there's about 300 feet of track in this Helix. So it definitely ate some track, but when you look at how much it gives me in being able to do a whole second deck, I mean, the whole south end of the railroad is on the second deck, so kind of a big deal to be able to do this. And I think on the top of the deck, I'm also going to do a reverse loop for what'll be the Western Allegheny Division. All right, well, he's coming down the hill. I got a short manifest freight sitting here, and it is going north. And it's parked at the Allegheny Industrial District, and it's going to head up towards Red Hot and Butler. There's a passenger train coming down, and that's Baldwin AS616 leading that little passenger train, which I don't think they ever used on passenger trains, but I had it out because I like that engine. I like the Baldwin prime mover sound that I got programmed in there, and it's I don't know, it just looks kind of fun. Why not? So it works out that the inside track will be usually downhill trains for right-hand running, and this is where it starts to hurt your head to think about a little bit unless you see it. Trains on the outside track of the Helix would be trains coming across the Osgood Viaduct and the KO line, go up the outside track and go that way, and then once they come all the way around again, they'd be against the wall coming this way, and they'd be on the very inside track going down. So a little bit confusing. It's not really that confusing when you see it in real life, but probably hard to envision if you can't see it all. The undecorated engine pulling this train's a Broadway Limited 210-4. It is not at all right for the Bessemer 210-4s. I do have 7 of the H-Class 210-4s that are all in various states of being worked on. They're old brass models and they're cantankerous, and I think I got a plan coming together of how I'm going to make those run reliably. So the Bessemer was definitely a coal and ore road. That's what it was built for. That's what it did. But when you look back, you know, in pictures from the steam era and documentation, whatever, there was a fair amount of merchandise freight and line-side industry. They connected with a lot of other railroads. They connected with the Pennsy, they connected with the B&O, and a lot of bridge traffic going on. Plus the line-side industry. Connected with the nickel plate at Girard. So there would be this train passing the red hot coal loader. Turning the corner and headed for Butler. All right. Let's watch one more, shall we? Got a train sitting over here at KO. Good hopper train. We got 280-154 and 210-521 queued up here. I'm not sure how many cars are on this train, 30 some. And one of the things I have to work on is these brown model diecast hoppers. They're only about, gosh, 2.5 ounces. And we should be looking at more like, you know, 4+ ounces for an MRA scheduled weight. I can't say I've had no derailments in the Helix, but I can say I haven't had any derailments that I can blame on the Helix. So I've had a couple of these derail, but they've been cars on the front end of a pretty long train, and they're seriously underweight. And when I would go back and, you know, toss a couple nails in them and try to get them closer to weight, then I had no problems. So we'll see. So this is the KO line. Bypassing Greenville. And we are headed south for Grove City. And here we go onto the Osgood Viaduct. And the difference in chuff intensity here and there, these are TCS decoders. So as the engine works harder, you're actually hearing the engine work harder. The makeup of this train with the 70-ton hoppers, the gondolas, the 50-ton hoppers, as I've dug up pictures of the Bessemer in the steam era, this is pretty much what the trains looked like. Basically, if it was something that looked like a bucket, they would put coal or ore in it. My NE1 offset bay window cabooses were 3D printed. Made 5 of those. And the KO line jumps in to the Helix on the second turn there. This southbound ore train is just about to win the grade. coming into KY Junction. Premise, if you will. And there you have it. So 4 trains up and down the Helix, no real problems. I think we're doing good, and we're going to be on to building deck 2. And if you're new to the channel and haven't really ever seen the layout before, I'd encourage you to dig back and look through my older videos. But the second deck is going to go over everything except the engine terminal here. So the second deck will kind of follow the profile of those foam risers. But other than that, all this gets the second deck. So my goal is to have this done by January a year from now. And that would be to this level of completion. It's a fair amount of bench work, as you can see. And then I still have to build the road bed down to the subdeck, which is my Erie branch. Coming off there at CE, track will drop down, go around, go down to Erie. My other project is been going slowly. I've been working on the Helix, but have been continuing to work on the yard ladder, getting it all set up, and got my first yard track laid in here. This will be track 5. It's code 70 rail laid on top of Central Valley branch line tie spacing. I think it looks pretty good. It definitely looks lighter duty than the main line. So that's coming along pretty good. So we'll get back into this heavier now that the Helix is done. And that's about all I got to show you today. I will add some video here of water jetting the arc pieces for the Helix, which I have to give a huge shout out and thanks to my old boss, Duncan. He's been very good to me. Lets me use some tools from time to time, and was a huge help. Saved me, I can't even guess how many hours it saved me saber sawing all those arced pieces. Anyway, hope everybody's staying warm and staying safe with all the weather. Boy, this has been a harsh early winter so far. So we'll catch you all again next time here on the HO Scale, Bessemer and Lake Erie. Okay, for this section of layout update, I'm hoping to do something pretty special. We got plywood for the Helix loaded up in the back of the truck here, and yeah, let's see what we can do with it. So when this was Mark's Toys, I don't think any or many of these concrete walls were in the building. After Mark's went under, this became a small business incubator, and these walls were required by fire code to go all the way up. So kind of amazing here these days, but really cool place. Definitely been in this building most of my life, so I know it well. Of all the cool sidings at the old Merck's building, I always really liked this one that has the overhead crane that would have went out over the tracks in this little shed. I have no idea what they would have used this for, but it's really cool.